This is Mama Thea of Asli Pure, and when I want to hear the story from the lion and the lioness, I listen to Lion Voice with Ras Bonsu.
We have to talk about Isaiah 43. So this is a passage that, when you talk about repatriation, and big up our elder brother Jack, he would always call for this passage to be read. I shall say to the north, give up, to the south, keep not back. Call my sons from afar, my daughters from the ends of the earth. Mighty, mighty piece of prophecy. We still haven't seen it manifest, but we know repatriation is a must, and we look forward to live to see these things. But one thing cannot be denied is that His Majesty reserved land for black people in the West to return home. So He called the children home. He did visit all the nations of the earth and extend a welcome for them to come and rebuild the children that were exiled, the black people who were brought into bondage. He did invite them home to come and rebuild. He did say Africa awaits our creators and creation. His speech at the founding of the OAU did say that Africans, some of them had never touched their foot on the continent, proclaiming that sixth region, which now is a reality. Before there was a sixth region. All of these things were uttered from the mouth of His Imperial Majesty. So these things, again, in prophetic terms, being fulfilled from the throne of David. You cannot argue the history. It is what it is. Psalms 87, when we talk about Ethiopia, this man was born there. The highest of himself shall establish her. And when we look at Haile Selassie establishing the foundation of Africa in Addis Ababa, in the mountains, from the throne of King David, the significance cannot be overstated. And I want to make something clear. I'm not saying that every black person is a Hebrew or descendant of the black Hebrews. No. Africa is diverse. There are all different peoples and tribes. But what I'm saying is that the Bible is an African story. The original Hebrews were of African descent. And it ties into, Haile Selassie being the fulfillment of this biblical story. Because without Ethiopia, the biblical story is not validated, because the throne of David did not endure. We can now make the argument that the throne of David endured, because people might say, well, where's the throne of David today? And then I would say, look at Rastafari all over the world. The throne of David now lives in the hearts of Rastafari. Around the world, the Lion of Judah flag, which represents the throne of David, now flies in every country across the planet. Not by politics, but by faith. It's now it's moved from the political realm to the spiritual realm. So coming full circle, because again, when you look at the biblical story, the children of Israel, they didn't have a king, or they didn't have a living. They cried to the Creator to have a king, which is why the Davidic throne was established to fulfill the promise unto Jacob and all of these things. And this throne was established, and because they wanted to see their Creator. Israel's God is Israel's King, was the chant. But now we look at all of this, and again it comes full circle to where now the throne of David is in the hearts of all Rastafari globally. Lion of Judah flag flies. So the covenant that was sworn unto David, that your throne would have no end as long as the sun and the moon endure. The argument now can be made that is correct, that lives. You take Ethiopia out of the equation, the throne of David perished long ago. Because when you look at what happened in Jerusalem, the blessing of it's clear that the Almighty had removed its blessing there. But when we look at the only country to never be conquered, that the Almighty bless its people with its greatest gift, which is freedom, we again, Ethiopia in the spotlight. So this is, how I look at things, because regardless of whether you say Kemet, whatever creator you praise, we have to be able to see, I have to be able to see the impact in the real world, or else where's the power of the deity or the creator that you claim if you can't see the impact? There's no denying the impact of the Abrahamic religion's faith, worldview on the earth. And again, the root of this, was hidden from the original children, which is why the earth is in chaos. But again, it leads to Ethiopia being that light and that pathway in the story. Revelation 5:5 is one the most powerful. Revelation 3, I have to talk about first, where it said that the Christ would come with a new name. This is also one of the key. Big up to John 9, the new name song. Also, we're talking about Revelation 5:5. Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah has prevailed to open the book and loose the seventh seal thereof. That is one of the most powerful. Can't forget that one. Revelation 17. Upon his name and upon his vesture, he shall have his name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Also, dressed in the crimson, and then we see his majesty coronation garment, full red crimson again. So all of these things, as a young Ras, we look at them, we study them, we put two and two together, we come up with the conclusion of who Haile Selassie I is.
Well, the leaders of the world have failed in their responsibility to lead the youths them to a brighter future. Well, I and I hear the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, Earth's rightful ruler. I just way Ras Tafari crowd, unconquerable. Me come to tell them about Babylon, they're falling down. Tafari dismantle you. Me come to tell them about the way Ras Tafari crowd. Me come to tell them about Babylon, they're falling down. Tafari dismantle you. Me come to tell them about Oipa Palace intrigue, infighting between Solomon seed. Well, Empress tried to want her family to lead. Well, King Michael want him son to lead, but King Michael now watch the orphan married to him niece, who get up every day and a study and a read. He work and he pray every day. He achieve. Them say you're the leader. Every nation need a just way Ras Tafari crown. Unconquerable. Me come to tell them about Babylon, they're falling down. Tafari dismantle you. Me come to tell them about the Ras Tafari crown. Unconquerable. Me come to tell them about Babylon, they're falling down. Tafari dismantle you. Well, Ras Michael, son was having a good time when he should mind the affairs of the state, cause he's descent from the great line of Menelik II. But he's stepping on toes of his elders, treat his women like hoes, he exposed. Now we working with the Ottoman Turks, say he's descending from Muhammad, but that's not how this works. See, the crown was anointed by the Orthodox Church, so if you're all ruling as I, then you have to put Christ first.